Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, David. I don't know if you're still here. It's good to be alive today. Yep, I'm going to get into what's called, hey, Dave, uh, what's called the Stoic way of praying. And the first prayer that I'm going to talk about is the serenity prayer. And the serenity prayer means, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage and and the courage to change the things that I can, and of course the wisdom to know the difference between the two. Hi, Tommy. So it's a sanity prayer. Means there are certain things in this world that are impossible to change. There are things within my own life, my own attitudes that I have the control over. And most importantly, I need to have the wisdom or the sanity to know the difference. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
All right. Have a good day.
I'm only working a couple hours.
All right. I'm going to wash the floors, honey. The other prayer, which is a great prayer, is the prayer of Saint Francis of Assisi, which is, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt and faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there's sadness, joy. The big one here is, O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much to seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it's in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is dying that we are born to eternal life. Note that this prayer has nothing to do with a person's actions. He's asking a higher power to make him an instrument of this peace. Okay? So when I pray to God, I know that I'm fallible. I know that I'm not a vessel of peace. But the prayer is a meditative prayer. And in those moments in time when I feel like fighting, hopefully I'll have the wisdom to know the difference. It's a lovely prayer. It's used quite often. You guys hear me? Have you been hearing me? Just a sound check. Did you just hear the prayer to St. Francis of Assisi, David? Did anybody hear that? Okay, good. So, you know, the Stoic, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Did you hear that prayer to St. Francis of Assisi? I just want to make sure because I'm looking at my notes and the Stoic does the same thing. Rather than praying for uh, pleasure, people, or phenomena, self gratification, to be the center of attention, to be the guy that's always liked, and the guy who decides who's not going to be with us and who is going to be with us. Is not what a Stoic does. Stoic recognizes through training and practice and prayer that the last thing he is the center of the universe. All the cacophony of sound, of the fighting, of the bitterness, of the lies, mingled in with half truths. By virtue of practice, we should never be, how should I say it, take the bait, and run with it. As other people have said, uh, people flip sides left and right in this world. And so the Stoic has a firm foundation. Hi, Johnny. Well, it's something that can be, it's practical stoicism. It's not to be aspired to, David. It's there. It can be brought into one's daily life. You know, so the main thing is to understand my defects of character, to understand those things in my nature that have kept me from seeing the world through a different lens. That is sometimes an illusion. The first thing I have to do is, in today's social media, is to resist the impulse to be angered. The next thing is I have to avoid people, places, and things that upset or make me unstable in my spirit. The world is not about possessions. If I am the one who finds complete happiness in owning 12 motorcycles, I've got a situation on my hands, very shallow. I'm the guy that has to have irresistible desire to be so filthy wealthy that I'll do practically anything to get to that point. I think I've missed out on the nature of life, and probably my kids will too. if I'm not teaching my children, but rather sending them off to social experts to be trained in life, we've really made a mistake. And so the Stoic will usually say, when something bad happens, will not say, why me, Lord? The Stoic will turn it around and say, why not me? And accept it. And then that is accountability. That's sanity. That's wisdom. Okay, I've been dealt a bad hand here. I have the wisdom to know the difference. And while it could be very painful, it's the hand I'm dealt. It's the tragedy that beset me. And through my training, I have to be the man who keeps everything together in the family. Hi, William. How are you? Oh, Ralph's here. Hi, Ralph. How are you? Yeah, so let me just give you here's an example from Marcus Aurelius. Try praying differently and see what happens. Instead of a way to get rid of them, praying for that, try asking for a way not to crave his demise. Right? Instead of praying for people to get better, such as that they turn their lives around or act like I should desire them to act, pray that I do not have that urge to do it. And this is how a Stoic operates. Yes, Marcus Aurelius is a great book. I learned about him actually through MRE. He mentioned it a bunch of times, so I investigated it. I'm not an expert on him because I have my own plan, my own way of doing things. It's more Catholic oriented. But really, it's about being ruthlessly, almost ruthlessly scrupulous or scrupulous to help myself. And in order to do that, I have to be fearless and honest. That means if I made a mistake, I have to put away my fear and correct it. Without honesty, without truth, without knowing what I believe to be the truth about myself, without practicing honesty in all my affairs, every single one, I cannot say that I'm doing the right thing. That goes for cash registry, honesty. If somebody doesn't give me the right amount of change and I see I got an extra 100 in my pocket and there's a little girl at the cash register or an older woman, are you kidding me? I'm going to take that $100 and screw up her whole day, possibly she might even lose her job. Are you kidding me? Oh, thanks, Seaborn. Are you kidding me? That I'm going to take advantage of somebody and set them up and trick them so that I can gain financially? You know, no. Again, it goes back to rather than praying for someone to be pulverized and wiped off the face of the earth. And I have this insane, desire to see somebody suffer. And it clouds my mind. I have to turn that around and say, man, Lord, take this away from me. I can't handle that. That's evil stuff. You know, God is often found in nature. I'll walk, place myself out in an area where I can observe nature, found anywhere, on rooftops, in the din of the noise of city environment. But one of the exercises is that I have to get a sense of freedom every day, whether that be to walk alone, listening to the birds. I just take a moment here to think about that. I think another good prayer that I like to use is, Lord, please remove from me any defective character that stands in the way of my usefulness to you and to my fellow man. To help others is a prayer. To help others is puts me in a state of humility. As I've gotten older, as opposed to my youth, where I had to be the leader. Now I say, there's no such thing as a true leader, in an organization or anything else. Hang on just a second. I'm just saying, maybe that didn't come out the right way, but maybe I'm just saying that it's best just to think and pray. Maybe I'm saying life is all just one comedy if you let it be. In the older days, my latter years, I'm really enjoying it, guys. I think these years of struggle, practice, having a fellowship of like-minded friends, I'm so grateful to for. And finally, I'll end it with this. Uh, some days I wake up and I'm just a blank. I just can't, emotionally dead to the world. But I have to find and develop and grasp an attitude of gratitude. I have to be vigilant and keep my radar up for the good things. Uh, but I do recommend that even though I've been married a long time, being alone is taking breaks from each other and going out and doing something on my own, for a few hours is a healthy thing. And it's a healthy thing for my wife. It gives us both a sense of freedom. So there are so many little tricks. Gerard, luckily I have an extra bearing. My wheel just fell off while I was regular skating after all the jumps, falls, and smash. I put them through. It's funny. Uh, now, I think I was fortunate enough to make some calamities, have some setbacks in my life. And I learned that you can make lemonade out of lemons. Although I'll tell you, I didn't want to. Sometimes a person gets jammed in a tube and he's got to climb out of that tube. He's got to squiggle out of it. But there's got to be a reason to do it. And I found my reason. And for that, I'm entirely grateful. Yeah, I was just showing an example of if somebody gave me an extra 100 and change. Let's say I bought something and they made an error. Would I take that $100? No. Good job, Seaborn. Yep, that's good. I think you guys are all great guys. I'm lucky to have met you all in Avatar world. I gotta do a couple things. I gotta surprise my wife a little. She actually went into work today, so I'm gonna make sure the house is spotless, and you know that'll help her mental attitude. I've got time to drop the link if anybody wants to come up. If not, I understand. Otherwise, I'm just gonna close it out. I think a half hour is good enough. So actually is a train. The Canadian National, I think it's called. And it's the only sound that I can hear in the distance. I've always loved the sound of trains since I was a kid. I love the sound of them clicking, clacking across the iron. So I'm going to end this prayer, this session the way I started it. Oh, sure, Seaborn. Thank you. So are you. I mean, it is what it is. And one final thing that I have to practice, and that is I must let the other person finish their sentences. Things get excited, and I want to get my view in, but I have to let them finish their sentences. Must let them finish their sentences. And the reason is it's more important to listen. It's more important to understand than be understood. And that's all I have today, guys. I'm going to end this with the serenity prayer. Again, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You all have and make it a great day. And that's about it. Thanks for coming in, Gianni, David, Seaborn, Tommy, as always, Tommy Stiggs. And, a couple of my friends are here, and that's all that matters. Numbers don't mean anything to me. I'll see you guys. Have a good one.